as injuries are concerned, Steve will be a DNP today. He's going to do some stuff with Reggie and his guys. Braden Fisk will be the same. Devontae will have a veteran rest day, as will Rob Havenstein, and then Colby Parkinson will be limited. So looking forward to seeing how things go today for Steve and Braden, and really Colby. Those are the guys that will truly, hopefully see some good progress and see if they'll be available for this week. But everybody else, we should be good.
Obviously, different teams, different seasons, different parts of the season.
Yep.
But can you guys draw something from that playoff game and take it into this?
Well, I think you can. There's continuity in their schemes, and I know Kevin Petula is their offensive coordinator now, but it's the same defensive coordinator, same special teams coordinator. Nick is obviously heavily involved in the offense, and Kevin's been heavily involved too. So, you certainly use that. The 2 games of inventory are really valuable, and they obviously played the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship, and we played them in the divisional round. But every single year's a new year. They have some new personnel in different spots, but there are some consistent things, and then there's the elements of that weather that you have to be cognizant of. But it is part of our preparation, but it's going to be about how well we play, and looking forward to seeing if we can take a step going into week 3. I thought we did from week 1 to week 2. It's early on. It's a great football team. We're looking forward to the challenge.
So how are you feeling?
I feel good. It's actually better. I think you hear the word torn plantar fascia. It had been bothering me for a little bit, where I was a little bit restricted, and then I went to just explode down the sidelines for a timeout, and that thing popped in my heel, and it was temporarily painful, but it actually feels a lot better now. So it's a positive that I tore my plantar fascia. That's a good thing because it accelerates the healing. So there's no issues for me. I regret telling my man JB that, where it became a bigger deal than what it was. But there is, I did have to hop down there. I got the damn timeout, even on one leg. So no, I'm doing good though. I appreciate it.
So you're saying it was intensity, not age?
I'm telling you, it was because of the pure just twitch that I still had. That just snapped. So I'm back. I'm ready to go.
No surgery?
No, the surgery. Fortunately, that's usually what they do, is they break it when they do surgery or tear it. So we're in good shape. Fortunately, I don't play like I mentioned, but I feel good. So I appreciate it.
Back-to-back road games, that can be sometimes daunting.
Yeah.
Do you guys factor that in this week?
I think you do with our rhythm, but you don't make it a bigger deal than what it is. Like we've talked about, Kurt, it's about, hey, how do you go play in that 3-hour window that you're allotted? We thought our guys were ready to go. Last week against Tennessee, we're used to this. Me personally, I love kicking off early. You don't have a chance to sit around and think about stuff. You get up, get a little caffeine, get some sun on your face, and you're woken up and you're ready to roll. So I'm excited about it. We all know what a great atmosphere and environment it is in Philly, what a great football team it is, and it's what you love, and our guys are looking forward to the challenge.
And when you look at Jalen Hurts, statistically, I think when he's at the switch, they haven't lost in September.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
What do you see?
He's a winner. He's a winner. He's a competitor. What I respect about them is they play the game on their terms. They know how they want to be able to play, and it's not exclusive to offense or defense or in teams. It's all 3 together. They play team football. They know the style of play that they want to be able to play with. Jalen takes great care of the football. He can beat you with his arm, legs, or his mind. And he's a winner, and he's a great competitor. And so I got a ton of respect for this football team. We obviously have a lot of familiarity with them, playing them twice last year. And that being so early in this season. But every single year's a new year. We're looking forward to it, but nothing but respect coming from me for them.
So Saquon Barkley, what do you feel like is going to be keeping him from getting some of the explosive gains he got last year?
Yeah, you don't want to allow him vertical seams. He's so damn dynamic, and he's so explosive. And if he gets a vertical seam and he gets clean to the 2nd and 3rd levels, he's as special of a slash runner as there is. He's so explosive because of the speed and the ability to finish. I think he's really good in close quarters. You see why he had more production, when you look at his season combined, than there ever was in the history of this league. He was excellent. He obviously did a lot of great things against us in both games that he played. And so, like it always will be, it's going to be a big emphasis on, playing 11 as one, being able to swarm to the football. Easier said than done, but I know our guys are excited.
Sean, this offense had, some explosive runs of their own this past game. Do you attribute that to, the fresh legs of the Quorum and card splitter? Was there something else that you guys were trying to do to create those?
I thought our guys played, well. I think when you run the football well, Wyatt, it's a combination of a lot of things. I think all 11 have to contribute. That's the quarterback getting us in and out of the right things. That's receivers, tight ends, and offensive linemen, doing what they're supposed to do, and then that's the backs being able to read it out. And trust, where's the point of attack, what's the intent. But I thought both Kyron and Blake, you look at it and you see, Puka has a big explosive run on the, 4th down and 1. Thought Blake did an excellent job. You could see those, on that 4-play drive where the 3rd play represented a big explosion from him, and then in the 2nd down and 10, those were excellent runs. I thought Kyron had some excellent runs in 4 minute. So it's always about the team, but I thought those guys did a really nice job, and it was very good to see. Any good offense that I've been a part of has the ability to do both. And if defenses want to commit to one or the other, the good offenses can make them pay. You're still playing 11 on 11, and no different than when defense has some good things that they're doing. There still are some different holes or voids or vacancies or things that they leave themselves susceptible. No different than us, from an offensive perspective. So I was really pleased with that. They did a good job slowing us down a little bit earlier. I thought we played with better fundamentals and techniques as the game went on. And we're going to have to do that earlier in the game if we want to be able to get the result we want against a great opponent this week. Yep. I think you just mentioned it. I think we are a resilient team. We faced adversity, and adversity is inevitable, whether it's in a game, in a season, for a lot of different reasons. But we've had some adversity that we've had to deal with in each of the last 2 games. But the guys stayed steady. We always talk about not flinching. We talk about staying in the moment, doing the next right thing. I think there's a lot of belief, and I think there's a lot of guys, because of the care and the appreciation they have for one another, where, hey, they don't want to let each other down. I think they really enjoy celebrating each other's successes, and I think we lean into those hard moments, knowing that if we can continue to develop those calluses and continue to be resilient and be mentally tough in the midst of those moments, that's going to serve us well as we continue to accumulate experience and come together as a team where hopefully you're always improving, even though you might not always get those results that you want. And that's an important thing for us.
How did you guys identify Trey Brown as the fit for the cornerback room, and what do you think he can bring as he gets out?
He's a guy that just coaching against him, physical, stout at the point of attack, has good short space quickness and lateral agilities. So there's a familiarity having gone against him when he's in Seattle. And then I think he brings some speed to the perimeter, where he can do some different things, hopefully to potentially help us on special teams. I thought Darius did a great job coming up and making a handful of plays. Obviously, Forbes and the Kobe did a great job, in that game. I can't say enough about what a great job really our back end as a whole did. I thought Coach Beak with the safeties, Quentin Lake really shined. Cam Curls had 2 really good games, as has Cam Kitchens. Jalen McCullough comes in and does an excellent job. But, Aubrey and Coach Beak and Coach Harris and Coach Shula, I think our back 7, I think our defense as a whole has been excellent, but back 7's done really well, and looking forward to adding Trey to that mix.
Because they're 2-0 and the defending champs, is there such thing as a measuring stick game at week 3, or is that just something all of us look at?
I think it's a fun narrative. I mean, this is a great team, and so I think every week is a measuring stick. Every week when you get out there and you go play in this competitive league, every opportunity you have is a measuring stick, Gerard, and I know you know that. But is this a great challenge? You're damn right it is. I got tremendous respect for their coaches, their players. They've gotten after us. They've gotten the results that they wanted, and you can see it's a combination of a lot of great things that they have going there. And they're 2-0, and they beat 2 really quality football teams to start this season. But we're looking forward to going and compete and swing, and this is what you love about this league, is the opportunity to be able to go have every single week a chance to be able to go put it all out there, not be afraid of whatever the consequences are, but let's go swing and see what happens.
Sean, as we see more on what's been the growth that you've seen from last year to this year?
Yeah, I just think when you look at guys like him, Maria, he's just such a conscientious guy. The game makes sense, and he enjoys playing. I'm seeing a guy that's just totally present and really just, understanding what we're trying to get done. Repetition is the mother of learning, but when you're conscientious like him and you start to accumulate that knowledge, now you can really just allow yourself to go play. Trust your instincts, trust your teammates. I think, anytime that you're able to have some successful outcomes because it's been earned, that can lead to the confidence moving forward. And he's just got a great humility about himself. And so, you talk about Kyron, you talk about Blake. I love both of those guys. Feel really good about our running back situation. Ron does an excellent job, and then you look at it, we're really lucky to have Ronnie Rivers on the practice squad, and Jarquez Hunter has done an excellent job of, conscientious, continuing to learn. You talk about a guy that approaches practice the right way. So that's a credit to that group as a whole. But I love what Blake did, and excited to see him continue to grow just by being himself.